Hey everyone, today I'll be taking a look at another Transformer that doesn't transform for the third time. I was actually pretty excited for this guy because I could never find the Kingdom Optimus Primal, so I'm glad I have him. But first, taking a look at the packaging. As you can see, open window displays the figure, accessories on the side right here, as we all know from the recent Transformers Red reveals. More window. You got artwork right here, says Beast Wars Optimus Primal, says red up at the top. On the back, you do got product shots of him holding all of his accessories and stuff. You got words and things on the side, the more of the artwork. On the bottom, barcode and stuff and things on the top of Beast Wars. Let's go ahead and get this guy open and take a look at him. Getting him out of the packaging, this is a pretty good figure, but I do have my issues, and we'll get to that later. But first, taking a look at the details. Just zoom in here. I think it looks really, really nice. The paint and the sculpt on this guy is amazing. The eyes are done in red, but you can't really see it that much because of the shadow it causes. There's some gunmetal gray for parts of the face. There. The really nice sculpting right here for this fur texture. The arms, you got some red and white painted there. And this figure does what the red figures that I got so far hasn't done. Double jointed elbows, which is amazing. I love that. That's what I desperately wanted from Cheetor and RC. But I didn't get it, so. But there's some nice texturing right here, and then you got the fist there. This thing right here, this chest plate is removable. It shows some sculpted in detail there, and this chest plate also is painted very, very nicely. Just gonna scoot this camera up some more. It's sculpted very nicely. Oh, I just dropped it. Love it. It just plugs in right there. You can also take off the backpack for some reason. There's some paint mishap right there, but you can't really see it because the backpack is covering it. So, and then for the legs, you got some red right there for the hips, and then some white there for the thigh, with some more of that texturing. The fist on for the right side is very loose, and that's also for the grabby hand as well. So that's an issue I have. And also the shoulder, or the elbow I mean, is loose as well, the upper elbow joint. So it's perfectly fine on this side, and then this arm is very, very tight, and it has been reported of breakage, like especially on that right hip, but very tight and very hard to push down. I'm even scared just to even do what I just did, but it's perfectly fine on this side. But continuing on, you got the knee pads, or just the knees, just done in red, and then more of that fur texturing and some mechanical detail right here with this like piston thing, which is very nice. And then turning around to the back, there you go. So the figure looks very, very good, but don't like that loose hand and that very tight shoulder and that loose upper elbow joint. For accessories, he comes with these grabby hands and the sword. They were very difficult to get on. These swords are very difficult to get onto the hand, so I heated it up, opened it, eaten up, and so they were soft enough to where I can push the sword in, and I'm never taking these out. So both the swords are in there, I'm never taking them out. But the swords themselves look nice. I like the paint right here, very nicely done, and the detailing is good as well. You can put them together, I think, which I'm probably not going to be able to do that. With I even tried to do this when I didn't have them in the hands, and I couldn't even do it. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah. And there's also some features that this figure can do right here. These can rotate around, and then you got his shoulder guns there, very cool, and they're painted very nicely. And then also you got You got the arm guns where there's just like a little button there. You just push that, pull it out, and then there you go. He's got his little forearm guns, which is nice. They don't articulate at all. Kind of wish they did, but they don't. But you can just push those back in. So for accessories are pretty nice. I don't know what else he would come with, but the features on this guy is nice also. Measuring Optimus Primal to see how tall he is. This figure stands at about 6.5 inches tall. Which means if you want to put him with your Kingdom figures, you can, because he scales pretty well with these guys. And he also scales really well with Kingdom Megatron. But all scale is thrown out the window when you get him next to Kingdom Cheetor. I'm just kidding, this actually doesn't look that bad. And here he is next to RC, a figure that I hate so much that I didn't even bother trying to stand her up straight. Going over articulation on this figure, there's a Dumbo joint up at the head, and you get some very good range out of that. You can have him look up that far, look down that far. You got some nice head tilt and rotation. Hinge at the shoulder goes up right there. Down is very hard. And what I think some people said that these joints are made out of clear plastic, which is stupid. Hasbro will never do that again, because that is just makes it prone to breaking. There is actually a ball joint in there, like kind of like the McFarlane stuff, so you can get all the way around, get up and down, and some butterfly. You can rotate around 360. These shoulder pads rotate with it. They're a bit loose. I wish they were just like stationary, kind of. You get a bicep, double bend at the elbow, kind of ugly there. You get a wrist rotation. You get also a waist. Oh, I forgot to talk about the ab crunch. You get an ab crunch there, which is not that much, and arch back, which is not that much. But if you actually remove everything, you can get a very good crunch, although it was kind of weird back there, and a actually pretty good crunch back. But the crunch is actually not that bad if you crank on it a bit. So it's actually not that bad. You get some decent range out of that. Hinge or ball joint. That's be that's ball joint. Ball joint at the hip kicks up that far, kicks back that far. You can get it to go out that far. Do be careful with it though, because it could break. Thigh rotation, double bend at the knee to that much range. Hinge at the foot can go forward, back. You have ankle pivot, and there's also a hinge right here at the back of the toe. Back of the foot. Yeah, that's it for articulation. Articulation is pretty good. You can get this actually pretty fantastic. Actually, you can get them in some very good poses. So overall, I think this figure is actually really good. The detailing is nice. The paint is clean. The articulation is pretty good. I can get it in some very cool poses. The features on it, like with the arm guns and the shoulder cannons, are really nice. And the accessories are cool too, although it was very hard trying to get those swords in the hands. And I couldn't even get them together to make that blade thing, or the double blade thing that was on the back of the box. But the accessories are nice. So overall, I'm going to have to give this figure a solid 8 out of 10. Anyway, that's it for this review. I'll see you next time. Bye.